Repetition is the father of learning. Shalom. All praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushua, Ba'ashem Rachakwadash. Double honors to my apostles of Great Millstone, and Shalom to the hopeful elect. This is Daniel chapter 9 and verse 7. It says, O Lord, righteousness belongeth unto thee, but unto us confusion of faces, as at this day, to the men of Judah and to the inhabitants of Jerusalem, and unto all Israel that are near and that are far off, through all the countries whither thou hast driven them, because of their trespass that they have trespassed against thee. So when it says, but unto us confusion of faces, what does that mean? It doesn't mean Israelites looking like the other nations. We're going to find out what does it mean right now. You go into the Hebrew word confusion is bashat, and it says shame, shameful thing. So when it says confusion of faces, it means shame face. All right? And what does shame mean? It means a painful feeling of humiliation or distress caused by the consciousness of wrong or foolish behavior. So Yahweh Shemashah, he brought shame upon the nation of Israel. And he done that by bringing us to a lower state. First and foremost, by taking his name away from us, all right? By taking away our nationality and putting us in the hands of our enemies. You know, we trespassed against Yahweh Shemashah. You know, we broke the covenant. So he brought us to a low state and scattered us throughout the four corners of the earth as a punishment. You know, taking us out of our land and putting us in slavery. You know, that's all part of the curses because we disobeyed them. It says, O Lord, to us belongeth confusion of face, to our kings, to our princes, to our fathers, because we have sinned against thee. So Yahweh Shemashah punished the whole nation of Israel as a whole, you know, for disobedience. You know, broke the Lord's statutes and commandments. So he punished us all, from our kings to our princes to our fathers, right? From least to greatest. It says, to the Lord our power belongeth mercies and forgivenesses, though we have rebelled against him. Yeah, so even though we refused to obey what Yahweh Shemashah commanded us to do, he still have, you know, mercy upon us. Reason why? Because we are his people. I'm going to go into a few scriptures real quick. This is Psalm chapter 130, verse 7. It says, let Israel hope in Yahweh Shemashah. For with Yahweh Shemashah there is mercy, and with him is plenteous redemption. And he shall redeem Israel from all his iniquities. Right? So everlasting mercy is for the nation of Israel. It's not for the other nations. It's Isaiah chapter 14, verse 1. It says, for Yahweh Shemashah will have mercy on Jacob, and will yet choose Israel, and set them in their own land. And the strangers shall be joined with them, and they shall cleave to the house of Jacob. So we know Yahweh Shemashah only have mercy on the nation of Israel, right? Starting with the elect, right? Mercy is having compassion or pity on someone you have the power to destroy or hurt or harm or kill, right? And we know that Yahweh Shema Shah, he's in control of all things. He killing, he make alive, he wounding, he heal, right? But even though we have rebelled against him, he have mercy on us. Why? Because he chose the nation of Israel out of all nations, right? We're his chosen people. We're his special people unto Yahweh Shema Shah, right? And he's going to set us back in our own land, which is the land of Israel, right? And those strangers are going to the Israelite foreigners, all right? Back in Daniel chapter 9, verse 10, it says, "Neither have we obeyed the voice of Yahweh Shema Shah, our power, to walk in his laws, which he set before us by his servants the prophets." And how do we walk in the Lord's laws? By following them to the best of our ability. You know, we rehearse the righteous acts, and these laws was given to us by his holy prophets, right? Yahweh Shema Shai gave the laws, statutes, and commandments unto Moses. Let's get that real quick. This is John chapter 1, verse 17. It says, "For the law was given by Moses," right? So the law, statutes, and commandments was given unto our forefather Moses, right? He was the mediator, right? Between us and the Most High, all right? It says, "But grace and truth came by Yahushua Mashiach," right? And we're not going to be saved by the law. We're going to be saved by grace and having faith in Yahushua Mashiach, right? But that doesn't mean that the law is done away with. As I mentioned, we rehearse the righteous acts to the best of our ability. You know, we show an effort, right? You know, we show our faith by our works. Deuteronomy chapter 8, verse 6, it says, "Therefore thou shalt keep the commandments of the Lord Yahweh Shema Shah, thy power, to walk in his ways and to fear him," right? And you walk in the Lord's ways, you walk in Yahweh Shema Shah ways by keeping the Lord's statutes and commandments, right? This is Baruch chapter 1, verse 15. It says, "And ye shall say to Yahweh Shema Shah, power belongeth righteousness, but unto us the confusion of faces, as it is come to pass this day unto them of Judah, and to the inhabitants of Jerusalem, and to our kings, and to our princes, and to our priests, and to our prophets, and to our fathers. For we have sinned before Yahweh Shema Shah, and disobeyed him, and have not hearkened unto the voice of Yahweh Shema Shah, our power, to walk in the commandments that he gave us openly. Since the day that Yahweh Shema Shah brought our forefathers out of the land of Egypt, unto this present day, we have been disobedient unto our Lord Yahweh Shema Shah, our power, and we have been negligent in not hearing his voice. Wherefore the evils cleaved unto us, and the curse which Yahweh Shema Shah appointed by Moses his servant at the time that he brought our fathers out of the land of Egypt, to give us a land that flowed with milk and honey, like as it is to see this day. Nevertheless, we have not hearkened to the voice of Yahweh Shema Shah power, according unto all the words of the prophets whom he sent unto us. For every man followed the imagination of his own wicked heart, to serve strange gods and to do evil in the sight of Yahweh Shema Shah power. Right, so we broke the Lord's statutes and commandments, right, that Yahweh Shema Shah gave to us through our forefather Moses, all right? So he put curses upon us, all right, for our iniquity, all right, for breaking the Lord's statutes and commandments. You know, he took us out of position of rulership, dominion, all right? He brought us to shame, you know, everyone from our kings, you know, to the priests, the prophets, all right, and the entire nation. He put an end to our heritage, you know. This is why we're cursed, because we disobeyed. Real quick. This is Jeremiah chapter 17, verse 4. It says, "And thou, even thyself, shall discontinue from thy heritage that I gave thee, and I will cause thee to serve thy enemies in a land which thou knowest not. For ye have kindled a fire in my anger, which shall burn forever." All right? And how do we kindle a fire in the Lord? You know, how do we get him angry? You know, by breaking the Lord's statutes and commandments. Therefore, he put an end to our heritage, all right? We became a byword and a proverb, right? He calls us to serve our enemies and, you know, lands that are not ours, all right? He got the nation of Israel scattered throughout the four winds of the earth, right? And this is all because our disobedience, for breaking the covenant, you know, for not keeping the Lord's statutes and commandments, all right? So this brought the Lord to wrath. This is why we're in a situation we're in now, you know, for our disobedience. This is the curses, right? This is what happened when you don't listen to Yahweh Shema Shah. This Hosea chapter 4, verse 6, it says, "My people are destroyed for the lack of knowledge. Because thou hast rejected knowledge, I will also reject thee, that thou shalt be no priest to me. Seeing thou hast forgotten the law of thy power, I will also forget thy children." So we rejected the knowledge, wisdom, understanding, all right, of Yahweh Shema Shah. So Yahweh Shema Shah rejected us. You know, we've forgotten the Lord's statutes and commandments given to us through Moses. So Yahweh Shema Shah forgotten us. You know, he cast us away because of our transgression, you know, breaking the Lord's statutes and commandments. All right, this is Baruch chapter 2, verse 1. It says, "Therefore Yahweh Shema Shah have made good his word, which he pronounced against us, and against our judges that judge Israel, and against our kings, and against our princes, and against the men of Judah, and against the men of Israel and Judah, to bring upon us great plagues such as never happened under the whole heaven, as it came to pass in Jerusalem, according to the things that were written in the law of Moses, that a man should eat the flesh of his own son and the flesh of his own daughter. Moreover, he had delivered them to be in subjection to all the kingdoms that are round about us, to be as a reproach and desolation among all the people round about, where Yahweh Shema Shah has scattered them. Thus we were cast down and not exalted, because we have sinned against Yahweh Shema Shah, our power, and have not been obedient unto his voice. To Yahweh Shema Shah, our power, appertained righteousness, but unto us and to our fathers open shame, and appeared this day, Slakia, as appeared this day. For all these plagues are come upon us, which Yahweh Shema Shah have pronounced against us. Yet have we not prayed before Yahweh Shema Shah, that we might turn every one from the imaginations of his wicked heart. Wherefore Yahweh Shema Shah watched over us for evil, and Yahweh Shema Shah had brought it upon us. For Yahweh Shema Shah is righteous in all his works, which he hath commanded us. Yet we have not hearkened unto his voice, to walk in the commandments of Yahweh Shema Shah that he has set before us. So these verses that I read, you know, it refers to our shame, you know, us being destroyed as a people, as a nation, you know, first and foremost, losing our power, Yahweh Hashem Hashai, losing the names and being brought down to a low estate, you know. He removed us from our land, you know. He caused us to, you know, serve captivity, you know. Got the nation of Israel scattered throughout the four corners of the earth, right? We're in the hands of our enemies, you know. To this day, we're looked down on, you know. We looked at as, you know, spittle, like we're not nothing, not like we're not the children of Israel. You know, we looked down on and we're at a low estate, you know. Our shame is being seen throughout the whole earth. And all this is happening because we disobey Yahweh Hashem Hashai, right? These are the curses, right? This is what happens when you don't obey your power. But I'm going to end here, you know. This was the understanding of confusion of faces. With that being said, Shalom.